I have to be clear with you, this video is going to be very vague. Now, before filming this video, I called up my lawyer and I asked if I can talk about the situation. My lawyer did say yes, but I can't give out any specific information about the case whatsoever, like the person's first name, last name, anything about their car, like license plate or the location. I can only say their age. I can only say the age of the people that were involved. So they were 18 years old. They're 18-year-old adults. That's all I can tell you about the people that were involved in this case. Now, about 7-8 days ago, I'm on my electric scooter with my friend and we're just riding around and we pull up to an intersection. And in this intersection, we hear a car coming from the back left of us really, really fast. Now, we didn't pay no mind. I wasn't even looking back at the car and I'm just standing there at the corner of the intersection. All I feel is a bunch of BB bullets hitting my entire body. Just a bunch of little small bullets hitting my entire body from the back. And I immediately just duck. I cover my eyes so nothing like serious actually does happen. So I covered up my face, covered my eyes, and these guys were just spraying us all over our bodies and then they just sped off. Now, as they were speeding off, they called my friend's last name. So they must have known who he was or they must have heard of him somehow or recognized his face. So after all this happens, look at my friend. I'm like, what is that? Do you know who these guys were? What the hell just happened to us? He was like, I don't know who they are, but I think it's some kids following some like TikTok trend. I see all over TikTok there's these like Orbeez guns. It's like a water gel bullet that thing you put into water and it starts to expand into a bullet. He's like, all over TikTok there's this trend where you just like shoot people with these Orbeez bullets and it's supposed to be like this funny trend on TikTok. Now, obviously, I tell you all the time why I can't stand the app TikTok. I hate it with all of my heart for reasons like this. For reasons like, look how it misguides the youth. Look what it makes people leave their house and go and do. Start shooting up random people from the outside of their car window for no reason. People they didn't even know whatsoever. They go out and shoot random people with a gel bullet for no reason because they see it happening on TikTok and it looks like it's so funny. The app is misguiding. There's no form of intelligence on the app whatsoever, and it makes people a lot less of intellectual people in general. Like you see what these kids are doing. They're 18 years old and they're being guided by an MP4 file on TikTok. So I processed the whole situation. I was very disappointed in the state of humanity, and I continued my day. I just let it go. I left it behind me. Now, with the same exact friend, same exact scooters, 24 hours later, the very, very next day, we are at a different place, and we're just riding the same scooters, just having a good normal day. It was sunny in Michigan, just trying to enjoy the weather, just like a regular citizen. And as we're riding, we see a car pulling up towards us this time. Now, this car is pulling up towards us, and it speeds up, and it stops right next to us. Now I'm thinking, like, and they had their windows down, so I'm thinking, maybe do I know these guys? Are they my friends from high school? Like, do I know who these people are? And then they call us. They're like, hey, yo, boys. And then I look at the car. In the same second that I make eye contact with the car, they raise up the same exact gun, and they start spraying me. They start shooting me towards my face. Now this time, a bullet actually hits my eye. They land a bullet right on the top left of my right eye, right here. And it stung really, really bad. So I covered my eye and I dropped my scooter and I'm just holding my eyes down like this. And at the time, it's a really nice place. There's like families walking and everything, and like a whole family sees this happening. So a family watches this happening. The mom starts screaming like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? She comes up to me like, are you guys okay? Should I call the police? Should I call the ambulance? How's your eye? What, do you even know who these guys were? I was like, no, I don't know who any of them were. She was like, did they hit you? I was like, yeah, they hit me in the eye. She was like, okay, I'm going to call them. I said, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's totally cool. So thankfully, by the will of God, a police officer is driving by like 15 seconds after the entire situation happens. So I'm still covering my eye. I wave down the officer and I tell him to come stop and talk to me. So I tell the officer, yo, I'm going for a little skate, and a bunch of guys in a car, 4 guys actually to be more specific, in a car pull up next to us with their windows down, and the guy behind the driver's seat starts shooting me and he hit me in the eye. He's like, okay, should I call the paramedics? How's your eye? Look at me. I'm showing him my eye was all red at the time. He was like, okay, are you sure you want me to call the paramedics? I'm like, no, it's fine, which I probably should have had them call just to make sure nothing serious did happen, which is very, very dumb of me at the time. And he was like, okay, he calls back up. The cops start asking me questions like, do you know who these guys were? The color of the car? Do you get license plate? I didn't have any information besides the type of car and the color of the car. That's it. So they take all my information down. They take my phone number and they go to look for these guys. So I brush it off. I said, all right, I'll leave it in their hands, and I just go back home. Now my eye is still hurting. Like my eye is hurting really, really bad. As I get home, I'm trying to like figure out like, is this like serious? Like my eye is still stinging really bad in the spot that they shot me. So I'm blinking my eye. I'm trying to make sure like I can still see everything properly. And every time I blink my eye, I see a black spot, like a black spot where I see nothing on the right side of my eye. Of my vision, there's a little black shadowy figure. And I got really, really scared. I'm thinking that they might have damaged my vision permanently. And I was really, really scared. I was really worked up. So at this time, I called up my doctor. I told him exactly what happened. Super pissed off. He said, okay, try blinking. How's your vision? Look left and right, up and down, whatever. And he told me that it's probably not anything too serious or not anything that's actually permanent to your vision, but it might just be trauma. Like maybe they hit like a certain part of your eye and it bruised or it got some sort of trauma. But it's probably not permanent eye vision damage. But we can't tell for sure until you go get a full eye exam. I said, okay, I'll think about it. And me being stupid, I didn't call to get an eye exam that exact day. I'm still waiting for my appointment to come as of right now to make sure it's not fully serious. But he said it should go away within like the next couple of days. So the same night I'm blinking and like my eye, like it was a really, really big shadowy black spot that I could not see anything out of. Every time I would blink, the spot was prevalent. It was right there. So I figure out that these are the same kids, and this all just clicked at the same exact night that this happened. These are the same exact kids that followed me into a neighborhood around the same vicinity, the same area that this happened. They followed me into a neighborhood that has a camera set up. And I've seen this camera many times. I looked at it, and this camera, there's actually two of them. There's a camera that is pointed directly at the driver's license plates of cars, and it has some sort of like AI detection or some machine learning detection, which is so cool, that automatically picks up the time, the kind of car, and the license plate of the car that drives by that camera. So I figure out that these guys actually saw us there at that time. They followed us in there, and it all made sense. These are the same kids that were following us into this like neighborhood. I didn't think anything of it. It was the same day, like 30 minutes before I got shot by the same kids. I thought it was some idiot kids were just driving behind us, and then they just drive away like nothing happened, like they didn't even see us. So they followed us in there. They had their eyes on us prior to shooting us, and then later on they caught us somewhere else a few blocks away, and then they actually shot us. So when this all clicked to me, I realized that those were the same kids. I contacted the right person. Obviously, I can't say any names or any specific details, but I got a hold of the footage. I got a hold of their license plate, of the car, of them driving. Matter of fact, I got a hold I probably can't even say it, but I got a lot of information on them. And I was in the video as well. Like you can tell they were clearly tailing us and following us and like speeding up to us with what seemed to be some sort of malicious intent. So I passed this information over to the police station. They were asking me a bunch of questions like, when did it happen? You know who these guys are? Do you know their first name, last name? I said, I have no idea who any of these guys were. They said, do they know who you were? I said, I have no idea about anything. All I know is that they shot me, and that's it. So, like, okay, this is just a bunch of bullshit. You know, we see this happening. I think this is some sort of like internet trend. People are going around like posting videos of shooting people on, it's like some like TikTok trend. Even the officer knew that it was some sort of TikTok trend. It's like, this is really how we're going to be raising our children, by having them emulate what they're seeing on these apps, following lost people. But anyways, the officer was really, really sincere, and he was like actually listening to my full story. And then the officer said, yeah, this is definitely going to be assault and battery. I said, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, this is assault and battery. And thank you for turning over the information. I totally appreciate it, and we'll look more into this. I said, thank you. And I left the station and I went back home. From there, I wasn't thinking much of it. I just turned over the video files to find out who these guys were. It turns out that the officer told me that just within maybe a few minutes, I think it could have been like 10, 20 minutes, after I told the officer what happened after I got shot, they went and found the guys just a few minutes after that. So the police station, they were on their shit. They knew exactly where to look, and they found the people that I mentioned. So I get a call the very next morning from somebody at the police station saying, hey, the driver of the car is not telling us who the person is that shot you. Like he's not turning in the guy that shot you. I was like, oh, I mean, I turned in the videos to you guys. Maybe you guys can see somebody in the videos. I'm not really sure. He was like, yeah, you know, the person that was driving the car is not going to turn in the person that was sitting behind him, right behind the driver's seat. And he's not going to say who did it. So I said, okay, no problem. I mean, just do what you guys have to do. I don't mind, whatever it is. He was like, okay, you're probably going to have to you might get called into a court case. If there's a hearing on this, you're going to have to show up. I said, all right, that's fine. I'm not worried. I'm just leaving it in your hands now. Now, as it's been about a week, my vision, as far as I can tell, is getting better. Every single day, it got less and less prevalent. The black dot in front of my eye is not nearly as much as it was from the very, very first day. I still can't tell. I still can't be too sure. I still have to get a medical exam to like fully prove this is okay. But that's what happened to me in this last week. Some idiots were following a stupid TikTok trend, following and emulating what they're seeing online, because parents these days don't know how to properly raise children, and they let apps like TikTok and Snapchat do it for them. And they ask questions like, what happened to the youth these days? Who else are they going to follow? If they don't have a parent figure, they're going to pull up their phone, go on TikTok, and start seeing some dumb shit, and then emulating what they're seeing on TikTok and doing it in real life. Now listen, I was a kid back in the day too. I used to do dumb shit all the time when I was growing up. The issue is that all the dumb shit that I've done in my life, nobody else had to suffer the consequences but me. If I made a dumb choice, I had to pay the price. I never ever put anybody else in danger for my own stupidity. Now, I understand that you're still young and you still want to have fun and everything, but there has to be a line that you have to draw. Where, okay, I'll have fun, I'll be an idiot kid, okay, but I won't hurt anybody else while doing so. And that's exactly what these kids did to me that current day. I thought I lost a portion of my vision. That's the most scary feeling in the entire world. I was terrified. I was literally sweating. But these kids didn't even think about the consequences. They weren't worried about anything whatsoever. They were just out being actual idiots and putting other people's lives and health at jeopardy for the sake of their own 2 or 3 minute laugh. At the end of the day, I hope you can all learn a lesson to this. Hopefully one day when we're all parents, or if we're growing up adults right now at this age, we can learn to not do what we heard about in this video, right? And we can not look at TikTok and say, oh, that looks like fun, shooting people for no reason and getting a Orbeez gun and blasting random civilians that are just walking, trying to enjoy the weather. Let's not do that, and you probably think with our own head and guide ourselves and be guided by those that are a lot more intellectual than us, instead of just going on some TikToker's page and learning how they live and emulating that. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully everything ends up well. Hopefully everyone's safe. Hopefully my eyes is totally healed and everything ends up blowing over and this ends up being okay. Please do not follow the dumb shit that you see online, especially TikTok. Don't emulate those that don't know how to properly guide themselves, because you will be then misguided. Thank you for watching this video. Stay dreaming, stay lucid. I'm out. Peace.